Hi, this is Bob Scully, and welcome to another edition of our show. I'd like you to meet a baron, this time a real one, Baron Rothschild, a member of the famous family, and a man who is widely respected as one of the senior statesmen of business and the economy in Europe. He's a retired banker, and so we're on a territory very similar to that of venture, but we're not meeting an entrepreneur. We're meeting somebody who, of course, was born to wealth and who has developed a great deal of wisdom on the economy, somebody, in a sense, who's seen it all, and who can bring that wisdom to these present troubled times. I wanted to know what he thought of the national debt. You'll be curious to see why he's not as worried as some of us are about that, nor about crashes on Wall Street. He can even live with a return of inflation. Not too much, of course, because he is a banker. But before we talked about the economy, I wanted to ask the Baron about that fantastic, the destiny of his family, the fantastic story behind that. Rothschild did not become an international household word by happenstance, and it's a great story, and he tells some of it. Also how he felt, being a supporter of Israel, Jewish, a major European figure, about things like the skinheads in Germany. He is concerned about intolerance on his continent. So here is Baron Guy de Rothschild. He belongs to the French branch, speaking to us from what seems to be a very nice apartment on l'Île Saint-Louis in Paris. Baron, as I mentioned just before we left for the break, you were a banker for a number of years, now retired from business, but your family, as we were discussing, created so many instruments in the financial world, like letters of credit, like transportation of valuables that didn't involve physical means. When someone like you saw all the leverage on Wall Street a few years ago, you must have thought it was the same vision gone wild. I mean, people buying companies with 1% equity, you must have shaken your head and thought it would never work. How did you react to that?
Well, first of all, there was some really absurd behavior, absurd behavior pattern, which the absurdity being that it was accepted. I'm not talking about the illegal, the cheating. That's a segment of its own. But the fact of people accepting to lend, banks or individuals, to lend money on what? Paper, hopes, good looks, I don't know, anything, is totally absurd. I don't think that the inflation of those particular things you're referring to really upset the economy. But obviously it didn't help. It didn't help. I don't think that the world, it was too small in comparison with the whole world economy, which is always in play in any of these things, to have a world effect. It had certainly a very bad moral effect. You know, when I think back of a time when I believe you were still only a promise, in the middle 1920s, and when I became little by little conscious a little later of what had taken place in the huge slump, the famous October 1929 collapse of Wall Street. You know, when the theatrical newspaper, I've forgotten its name, magazine.
Variety.
Variety came out with the big title, Wall Street Lays an Egg, which has become famous. And in the early 30s, no one understood why, what's wrong, what's different between 32 and 28, if you like. Because the mechanisms of inflation, creation of money or destruction of money, were not understood or had not been analyzed. I mean, it was a science that didn't exist. But a little later, when it started being understood, it became obvious to even an amateur like myself that what had happened in Europe and in America, more in America than Europe, was there really a fabulous inflation between 1922, 24, and 29. Speculation, creation of money, everyone was borrowing, everyone was speculating on anything. So therefore there was a real creation of money, really a fabulous inflation that took place. And as things don't grow to the sky, there's one moment it trips on anything, a detail, whatever it is, someone asks to be reimbursed, and the whole thing, which is a bubble, bursts. And it bursts in the most dramatic way, naturally, then, as you know.